got 3 new episodes of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and every single one absolutely broke me. But not in a way to where it was like, oh, this broke me because I hate it, but it broke me because I love it so much and now I have to wait for an entire week. So congratulations, I guess. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back for making me absolutely miserable in the best way possible. I do want to say up front, I've noticed it's kind of hard for me to stay on track talking episode by episode, so don't expect that. We're just going to talk about all the episodes as one blanket in this video. Just go all over the place, cover all the story points that I want to hit, all the references. If I miss stuff, I'll talk about it in the next episode review or episode reviews because we have 2 more episodes. By the way, I did say I was going to do that this week for last week's episode, so let me go ahead and talk about some of the references that I missed that I wanted to talk about but completely forgot to talk about when I hit record. We had a reference to the I missed the part where that's my problem line from the Tobey Maguire Sam Raimi films, and we also got a reference to the My Balloon girl from the Ultimate Spider-Man video game, or the Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in game, but somebody in the comments of the last video reminded me that there was also a balloon in the Ultimate Spider-Man video game as well, but my mind went to the movie tie-in game for Spider-Man 2. Alright, let's talk about today's batch of episodes 6, 7, and 8, which are Duel with the Devil, Scorpion Rising, and Tangled Web, which I think are my favorite batch of episodes thus far. Some of the narrative through lines that play throughout all 3 of these episodes would be things like the Nico, Harry, and Peter relationship, which is getting so out of hand in the most awesome and dramatically fulfilling way is the best way I can describe it, as well as the Lonnie Lincoln Tombstone stuff coming to a head and Pearl finding everything out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's start with one thing that was contained within this first episode that we got today, which is exclusive to this episode, the Daredevil crossover. So Daredevil comes into this thing in a very clever way. It's kind of brought up front that Norman's like, hey, we've been doing a lot of superhero stuff with you being out there as Spidey. Let's take a day off. Peter's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to Nico and apologize for inviting Harry kind of unannounced to Nico during their whole little movie theater thing from the last episode. So he apologizes for that, but is like, hey, I want to give this a shot for us all 3 to be friends. They decide to hang out at Peter's place, and in the middle of them hanging out, Norman Osborn gets an alert at this banquet that he's in currently, which does have an appearance from Thunderbolt Ross, who favors the 2003 one more than William Hurt or Harrison Ford, which is a very interesting choice. But yeah, that alert is like, hey, somebody's trying to trespass on Oscorp premises. So he reaches out to Peter's like, hey, I need you to check this out, which gets directly in the middle of Peter hanging out with his friends, and the Spider-Man thing pulls him away from his normal life. Love that attention to detail when it comes to representing this character and the struggles that he faces. Awesome job. Also at the banquet, I think we got a reference to Bishop Security, if I heard that correctly. There was another reference, but I completely missed it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't rewind. After Norman contacts Peter and has him Spidey up, Spidey goes all the way over to Oscorp after ditching his friends, under the impression that this will be a quick exchange. Little did he know it would turn into a whole thing, because when he gets there, the person that broke into Oscorp and is investigating the fishy stuff that he believes to be fishy is your dog Daredevil, bro. Like, it's straight up him. Voiced by Charlie Cox and all, and I gotta say, what a great exchange. I miss these 2 characters together. The entire fight was sick. Their chemistry was great. It was just fun. Even the dynamic of having such an older Matt Murdock interact with the younger Peter Parker, it still worked. That was great. I felt like a kid in a candy store. Great way to kick off these first 3 episodes, having him be right out the gate and not saving that, you know? In fact, having so much fun up front really helped the impactful and more dramatic stuff of the latter half of the episodes, or the chunk that we got today, hit that much more for me. During their little matchup and stuff like that, Matt alludes to the fact that Norman may not be all good, which again, I was throwing a curveball left and right with these last few episodes of will he turn, will he not? Hearing Daredevil be a little more fishy about him, just like Nico a couple weeks back, lets me know, yeah, maybe he's not all that great. Was that a couple of weeks back or was that last week? I don't know. Time is fake. But yeah, he straight up tells Spidey, Norman Osborn, I don't know. I know you think you're doing the right thing, but be careful, kid. He might just be hiding something from you. So after that exchange happens, Norman contacts Peter. Peter gives him the rundown like, yeah, that was straight up Daredevil, dog. He said you were hiding something from me. They talk things out. Then we find out that Norman has discovered Octavius is the one behind all of the weaponry being lent out to the villains from the past few episodes. He knows the guy they used to work together, and it's a whole thing. So that's where things built up there for now. Everything going on with Harry and Nico. They're trying to bond while Peter's away. It gets awkward. Things aren't really clicking. It kind of gets a little messy, but it all bubbles up to the point of Harry letting slip that Peter is Spider-Man to Nico. Oh my God, Harry, what is wrong with you? I thought that they did the little cutaway because he was like, hey, Peter's actually, and he didn't say that, but when we cut back to the end of the episode, when Peter comes back to them after ditching them, Nico's like, oh yeah, he told me you're Spider-Man or something, but that can't be true, and his mask falls out of his bag, and it's like, bro, he really told her that. That's insane. Also, another thing to note, oh my God, I'm all over the place. The Lonnie stuff with them becoming Tombstone. He stopped showing up to school as often. He gets kicked off the football team, and now Peter has become lab partners with Pearl, so they're starting to build their relationship out a little bit more to see how those characters are going to bounce off of each other. Continuing through the next few episodes, we have Norman and Peter trying to figure out how to take down Octavius. Very funny thing about the scene, I totally picked up on this reference. It was hilarious. We did hear about tritium, and Osborn makes some cheeky little remark about, oh, I doubt he's figured out how to harness the power of the sun. Y'all are fans. Y'all are fans for real. I want to high five everybody in that writer's room. Y'all are real ones. But yeah, they find out Octavius is using gamma radiation, so that can't be good. For the rest of episode 7, it seems like the main plot was really Nico and Harry ironing things out from their awkward first meetings to actually becoming genuine friends that actually like each other. Like, they get in this whole thing about him teaching her how to drive after they have a little bickering back and forth after letting it be known that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. She's off put by that whole situation and how Harry knew before she did, how Peter withheld that information. So she's really off put mostly towards Peter and hurt by him holding it from her. But Harry and Nico iron their things out. They somehow end up in a street race, which is funny. Also got a cameo from Zach Cherry's character who was in Spider-Man Homecoming and Shang-Chi on the bus during the street race scene. I think he also had a cameo in the first or second episode. And it all ends with Harry and Nico going back to Nico's place. He drops her off there. And yeah, they're on really good terms. She's still mad at Peter, but things seem to be well for those two for now. Now, on the Lonnie and Pearl side of things, it's looking a lot more grim. Lonnie's little brother tells Pearl about him joining the gang, so Pearl shows up to the hideout, and at this point in the episode, things take a dark turn. Things get really intense. Things feel like Spider-Man fundamentally. Some of the storytelling from the character that I really like, which pushed this episode to maybe be my favorite of this batch, maybe of the season thus far, even though we just had a Daredevil crossover episode. No, I think this one takes the cake for me. So as Pearl comes to confront Lonnie in the middle of it all, Mac Gargan shows up, suited up as the Scorpion, which we got teased at the end of the last episode, episode 6, that he got the suit from Octavius. He shows up, pieces up all of Don's band like, you want something? Come over here. He doesn't. He actually stabs someone. It's crazy work. I realized I just said come over here instead of saying get over here when talking about the Scorpion, which could have been a reference to the Mortal Kombat Scorpion. I just made that up, and that could have been an easy pun right there that I just completely let fall flat. No, I'm disappointed. But Lonnie's taking Pearl off to the side trying to protect her. Who comes in to save the day? Spider-Man does, but here's the thing. Spider-Man doesn't exactly save the day. He gets pieced up badly. Like, I'm talking almost Norman Osborn, No Way Home levels of pieced up. Crazy work. Into the first Raimi film with the Green Goblin fight levels of pieced up. Crazy work. So this all happens because Norman is instructing, kind of helping Peter come up with ways to defeat Scorpion. A lot of environmental combat using the environment, very similar to how he does it in the Insomniac game, how he does it in every version of Spider-Man for the most part. The way that he was fighting here reminded me a lot of the Insomniac games. Also, the first time he takes down Scorpion is reminiscent to how he took down the Lizard in the high school fight in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 where he coils the webs around him. But after he beats him, there's a phase 2 to this boss fight that he wasn't suspecting. By this point, Norman's not paying attention or communicating with Peter, and he's out of webs, which leaves the door wide open for a souped up gamma radiated Scorpion to absolutely put in that work on Peter. He didn't stand a chance. Bro was bleeding. Like, it got that intense. Even the credits, they were like, nah, we ain't gonna have that fun, joyous anime-like music play. Nah, we gonna have fire engulf the credits, and you're just gonna get this somber sounding, I don't know what. It was crazy, dog. Like, it shifted the entire atmosphere of the show. But before we got the completely depressing end credits, Peter did luckily get saved from being absolutely annihilated by Norman, who finally woke up and was like, oh snap, my boy's getting beat up. And guess what he sends to rescue Peter? A goblin glider. Just let that marinate for a little bit. We'll see how that comes back into play. But yeah, the whole glider, this show, peak. I know I said I wasn't going to go episode by episode, but I kind of think I did a decent job and just kind of fell into doing that by default. So let's talk about the last episode. Episode 8, probably I don't know, is this crazy to say, the most chill of the three? That might be a little crazy to say, I don't know. It doesn't have any Spider-Man in it. He's fully Peter Parker the entire time. Reflecting on the absolute beatdown he just got, he's like, bro, I'm getting cooked out here. I can't even lie, dog. Like, what do I do about it? I'm a Spider-Man, but I'm getting pieced up. And the boy is dealing with this through the entire episode. He has to mask the reason that he's walking around moping from Aunt May. They have a really nice exchange, bringing up Uncle Ben again and how integral he was to this family. May being like, oh, I just wish he was here to help you through this stuff. You need someone like that you could trust and turn to and talk to. And he's like, but I love you and you're enough. And I started to cry. All the family stuff, all of the relationships across the board on this show are just handled so well. I love it. But it's really sad to know, like, Peter, he wants to get back out there and he genuinely wants to get better and be a better hero. He just doesn't know how to navigate that. He feels like he doesn't have the proper guidance and he doesn't have anyone to turn to. He's calling Nico, trying to patch up their relationship, their friendship, everything that happened from the fallout of her finding out a secret the way that she did. Then you have Pearl and Lonnie coming back together just for Lonnie to break up with Pearl and say that I just have to stick with my newfound family after Pearl gives him the ultimatum, you pick me or you pick the gang. He picks the gang. Peter's like, please don't do it. You don't know what you're getting wrapped up into. And Lonnie's just cutting tie after tie. It's just, it's driving us to a crazy finale. So much happens in this episode. Even Osborn finally putting his foot down and being like, yeah, I know how to take out Octavius. I'm sending people to him now. He gets arrested under him breaking the laws of the Sokovia Accords. Ross comes to get him, and so does Tony Stark. We get an Iron Man cameo. He's straight up in the episode. Lonnie and Big Don and the whole crew, they're being met by freaking Chameleon. Dimitri shows up in full get up, like straight up looking like the Chameleon, giving them the tip on what was happening. So they have a leg up on the Scorpion gang. All of this happens and it all leads back to Peter trying to navigate and figure out how to become better. And he goes back to thinking about what May said about how he needs somebody he can trust, similar to Uncle Ben if he was still around. And I guess he thinks that that person could be Norman because he goes to him for a one-on-one. And during their conversation, when he's like, how do I be better? Osborn gives him this whole speech that's a little twisted, talking about you need people to look at you a certain way, you need this, you need that. And it all culminates in the line that he delivers to Peter that completely rubbed me the wrong way. But I feel like obviously that was intentional and it landed so well when Norman tells Peter, with great power comes great respect. And the look on Peter's face and how he lets that sink in. And you know, I was off put by it. He was as well. That's why he has that one-on-one with Harry after the fact. And Harry's like, look, you're Spider-Man, right? You're this hero. You are the only person who can tell yourself how to navigate that. So come up with your own identity and you figure it out, big dog. In fact, here's that red and blue suit, the traditional one that's actually representative of who you are as a hero. We don't get to see the full suit. We just see a reflection of the mask in Peter's glasses. But yeah, I'm guessing he's going to wear that in the finale and feel that much closer to our prime time traditional Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, this show is peak. I'm blown away. I did not expect to be this big of a fan of this show, but Lord, am I glad that I am. I cannot wait for this finale. I'm so excited to see how everything comes together and concludes. What did you guys think of these 3 episodes of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? What are your theories or predictions for the finale? Whatever you think about it, let me know in the comment section below. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. I'm so excited. It can't come here soon enough. You guys take it easy. Eat plenty of food. Drink plenty of water. Smile. High five somebody. I don't know. Have an awesome day. And I will catch you guys next week for this finale. Bye. Talk to you later.